What up, everyone? Episode 12 coming right at you. A lot of things happening in all the realms as usual. Trying to keep up is always a fun thing, and we're here to do our part. And let's talk about it. So, starting with the light things, because the heavy things was like we always want the good news first, kind of, huh?
Sure.
Ease into it.
Yeah.
Just like, we don't like to just like ram it down your throat.
Ram it down your throat.
Sometimes you do have to rip the Band-Aid off. Boba Fett. I'm not going to blow it because the last episode was really cool and
bringing a lot of controversy, no?
I think a couple of the episodes have, but what else is new with Star Wars fans? Nobody's ever happy.
Yeah,
especially with Star Wars. It's like
hard to please.
Oh my god.
Yeah, perhaps
dude.
the hardest. I mean, fairly insufferable,
So annoying to me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and I mean,
to you guys, I'm sure.
Well, and it's great that people love something so much, but I mean, hey, man, this is how wars happen. You know what I mean? You love something so much, and then you want to fight for that stuff. It's just, no, it's easy to balance. Take a breath and go for a walk and stuff.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
There was a return of quite a few characters that we've seen in Mandalorian and elsewhere, so that was cool.
Something I learned I wanted to say is I read something that Jango Fett's character, pretty much the same actor.
Tamura Morrison.
Morrison.
Also,
yes.
Yeah.
He's also Aquaman's dad.
Ooh. So a very reputable, established warrior of sorts.
Of course.
From many different wild universes. I mean, I guess he has the look. What? Just burly strongman? Is that the
Right.
official?
That's the part.
Really strong man.
Precisely. There was a deleted tweet from Disney executive that kind of revealed that Obi Wan is going to be coming out in May.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May 4th?
That would be great.
Ooh, yes.
Exciting times.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably are planning that, but somebody blew it. They tweeted it out and then they had to delete it, so.
Wah, wah. It's like, I wasn't supposed to talk about it just yet?
A lot of people doing that. It's funny.
It's just so easy to get caught get caught lacking, for whatever.
Right.
Whatever it is, whatever it's your professional realm or you're doing slip ups, just talking about whatever in your personal life. Yeah, it's
Right.
easy to do it. So I get it. And that's why people have, jobs doing these type of things, right? Like social media manager and whatnot. It's like, yeah, we got to be strategic and you got to, be like organic with it, even though, I mean, people will see it forever.
Right.
So don't mess up.
Be yourself, but don't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think we kind of, experiencing that in our own ways too, like trying to do the podcast. So yeah, I mean, it's, it's easy to get in your head about it, but well, we're trying and we're always looking to get better, right? So, but something that always helps me think about being better is good old Spiderman, right? Just great power comes great responsibility. So, and what's going on in that realm, because it's a lot right now, right?
Well, so it's about $20 million away from passing Avatar's domestic box office record,
Nice.
which is like 760 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Intense.
Big movie.
Yeah, and Tom Holland just recently came out and said that he wants to see Andrew Garfield do Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 3, which is interesting. He's got some love for...
Seems like a good guy,
Yeah.
I mean, just seems like he's like, look, we're all having fun, and I
They
enjoyed
really
everyone.
fucked those movies up, though. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
How
would
so?
be a
How so?
chance for redemption.
They would get a chance for redemption. I mean, I just think that like I'm not saying he did bad job as Spider-Man, but it was just like the CGI and the lizard looked weird, like this and that. Like
I mean, and ultimately,
there's nitpicky things.
their lines are coming from the script writer, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's their job to make the most out of them. But
yeah, they can't. It's not like they're the ones writing it.
yeah. And so yeah, No Way Home's been doing great, right? So I mean, it's and it's something I kind of just thinking about, like kind of tangentially, that Jackass, the newest Jackass just got released and actually beat it in the box office.
Jackass
Yeah.
Forever.
Which Spider-Man I think has been number one for I think if I heard it correctly, like 6 of the 8 weeks that
Yeah.
it's been out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Jackass.
Yeah.
What was the last Jackass movie? Jackass 3D?
I don't know. Jackass in Space, I think. Jackass
Was
in
it?
Space. Yeah.
Yeah, but this Jackass, I think one of the guys takes a nut shot from the UFC champion.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez, man.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it seems par for the course. So good. All right. Good. They haven't lost their touch.
They haven't lost their touch.
He might have down
Yeah,
there.
he might lose a touch. Yeah,
Wow.
for sure. Who was it? Who was it? Like
It's one of the. It's not Steve-O. It's,
Rab himself, or
I don't
that
know.
dude, or Preston was one of the other dudes, or yeah, man, it's
And they
crazy.
told him it was going to be a lightweight, and then the heavyweight champion walked in.
rolls through, ready to,
That's a bummer.
just like a fatty dump truck, worth of nut loss, I guess, right? Nut loss, right?
Ouch.
Overall nut loss, right?
So,
It's regressive.
what do you guys think of the Batman with Twilight?
I feel I personally, when I first heard it, I'm like,
Edward?
yeah, and Edward Batman. That feels like there's some nut loss right there too.
I've been hearing some good things. I mean, so Robert Pattinson is a relatively decent actor. I mean,
He's a
in,
very good actor, actually.
Have you seen
Yeah.
The Devil All the
Yeah,
Time?
very good actor in that movie.
Yeah, great.
You're just
great
like,
movie.
that's Robert Pattinson?
Right. Zoe Kravitz is playing Selena Kyle, Catwoman.
That's cool.
You got Jeffrey Wright is playing Jim Gordon. Paul Dano is playing the Riddler, which should be cool. Colin Farrell is going to be playing Penguin. Yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting Penguin. Yeah, I mean, no, and you're right. I could see it work with Rob Patterson, I guess. But you're right. It's important not to have your suspicions or opinions of an actor based on whether you like or don't like a role, right? And
Sure.
And again, at the end of the day, they got to make work with whatever they were hired to do and stuff. And hey, I can open my mind to how Batman can take different forms, and it's more of an idea that doesn't have a physical representation, right? So,
Sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about, like, because Michael Keaton came out and he talked about why he didn't do Batman Forever. And he was like, because the guy who was making that movie was kind of like, oh, well, Batman is this like so dark and this is so whatever.
He
And he
want it
was
to
like,
be
yeah.
so
And
dark.
like Michael Keaton was like, have you read Batman? Like, do you know the character? It's a dark story.
Yeah.
And he decided, I'm not,
I heard this one coming
good
out is
move,
going to be
good
more
move.
serious. It's going to be more serious and dark. The one coming.
It looks like it. The previews are cool. And then what was striking to me is that they have like a new Little Caesars campaign with the pizza, and it reminded me of like all the different stuff that we watched in the 90s and all the movies that had
The Mulan
tie-ins
sauce, Szechuan sauce.
yeah, right. And it was just interesting to see that kind of, they're tapping into that now.
Yeah. Just like, the connection between like food and these different, like for me, it was always like the fast food stuff, and like thinking of like the Rugrats watches, right? For when Rugrats in Paris, I think it was. Yeah, those are
that
yours.
was
I was like, I gotta collect all of them.
Got
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, and then
Those Disney cups.
Disney cups, the
the
glasses.
Dragon Ball Z ones, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are crazy.
Pokemon
Pokeballs?
movie. Yeah,
Pokeballs,
for sure.
dude, those were
Yeah.
dude.
Big time.
Actually, my personal favorite was it was like some Halloween characters, like a collection of Halloween characters during that time of year. And anyways, so
Is it like Boo Berry and
no,
Count
it wasn't.
Chocula,
It
or-
wasn't. No, it was like you know what? It was Burger King because there's a Burger King
Oh,
nearby us.
yeah.
But yeah, it was like one for 1 year, maybe another year after that. But yeah, during Halloween, it was like these special characters, unrelated to any TV show or something. But they were just they were just really cute. They were just really cute. But anyway, I was just reminiscing. Sorry, yeah.
Shut up.
Hey, you know what? Getting some Batman toys would be cool, and you know what? I guess more important than anything, regardless of who is portraying the Bat, is the outfit itself. So hoping that
That looks all right.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, okay, cool.
Are the nipples exaggerated like Joel Schumacher's?
I don't really pay attention to that, but I don't know. Maybe. And then, but speaking
He
of all
did. He
those-
he deliberately cut in like all the shots of like the nipples and the crotches and like,
Speaking of all those
It sells, man.
those 90s things, Jurassic Park, a great 90s movie.
yeah, for sure.
Classic.
And then now you said Jurassic World is coming
Yeah,
out.
Jurassic World Dominion's going to have Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern and Sam Neill, all the original people who were in the original trilogy, or not. Well, yeah, separately.
Fuck Jeff Goldblum.
The world of Jeff Goldblum, man.
I'm just kidding. He's awesome.
Yeah, so that should be interesting. But that's another, just like the original Jurassic Park is one of the most quotable movies.
Yeah, shooter. Yeah, we're one of the first ones.
Clever girl.
Yeah, Clever Girl. There's a dope ass math rocky band, right? That Clever Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sick. Yeah, we've listened to
Nice
it. Right?
inside joke. I like
Yeah,
that.
Clever Girl. Yeah, it's dope. It's dope.
And then, of course, you have to pay tribute because that whole thing inspired George Lucas to revisit Star Wars. We have the prequels and the sequels because of that, and all this new Star Wars stuff. So
then I hate Jurassic Park now. Sorry.
Exactly. Well, hey,
No, we
Kathleen
wouldn't have
Kennedy.
any new Star Wars if it wasn't for that.
Then I really hate Jurassic Park. Then I just.
They really did push the envelope visually for filmmaking.
And it's nice that the the final product, right? The movie is like, it still stands the test of time. It's still very believable. Just a visual work. You're able to suspend disbelief really easily. I still love how the T-Rex sounds. Its roar is like so memorable,
menacing.
Yeah, all that.
You know, the way they got some of those dinosaur sounds is really trippy. Like, one of the dinosaurs is like a turkey combined with a dolphin.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that a bit. Yeah.
Foley, the art of Foley, everybody.
Yeah.
Speaking of just epic beasts and stuff, right? Halo is getting a series
Love Halo
done by Paramount Pictures. So far I'm really excited about the visuals, but I know you were saying that. Well, let's see how they cater to the storyline, because it is a huge universe, and
the series coming out does look amazing, but I feel like the story is going to be a little watered down just to make it more easily accessible to wider audiences.
Yeah.
And also just to make it less have like a controversial message that the original creators of the story, like the first.
You also got to leave room for the sequels too if it does well.
Yeah.
And what were some of those original messages with the Halo series?
So a big thing about the Halo story, it's like super soldiers. Master Chief was created.
That's the main character. Yeah.
Yep, it was
the green guy.
Yeah. So the humans created super soldiers to basically fight other humans, because this takes place in the future, and mankind has gone out into space and colonized other worlds. So long story short, we created super soldiers to basically stop separatists. So this whole story is like a critique of imperialism and over militarization. And I feel like that's going to be lost in this Paramount show coming out, but we'll see.
Is it a show or is it a movie?
The show.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They
cool.
do Yellowstone, I heard, is pretty good. So
yeah,
I mean, I know it's completely
the same producers.
It's on Paramount.
Oh, Paramount. Oh, okay.
Paramount.
Okay.
So
yeah, Yellowstone's pretty cool.
So they have a freedom. So I hope.
That's cool. Yeah, nice to see what to do with that. But yeah, I'm excited. That was one of the biggest franchises that was released. When we were in school and stuff. And
2001.
Yeah. Oh man, many a late night were spent playing Combat Evolved, the first one from.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they're all pretty good, and it's doing great right now with Infinity's the newest one, right?
Infinite.
Oh yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
so
it's okay.
good.
But yeah, no, I mean that a lot of great reviews, and they did a lot of things right, cross play between different platforms, PC and Xbox, pretty much.
Yeah,
and
it's totally a different game from the originals, but they did a good job making like a modern shooting game that everyone can enjoy.
That still has that Halo feel. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, I've been enjoying streams of it and whatnot. So yeah, well, it's nice to see them continue with it. But you're right. I mean, I guess we'll see what becomes of it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's big for everyone. Yeah. And another thing that's big for some, that should be big for everyone, well, historically is, right? But maybe right now, depending on where you're at. I know here, I think it's, I don't know, not being portrayed as big a thing is the Olympics.
Well, yeah. So Jackie Chan carried the torch across the Great Wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
He did?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I've been on the Great Wall.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
has been a record low ratings for the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's like the lowest since 2018, and that was the lowest since like 88, I think.
Yeah.
Man.
Not a lot of people watching, and I don't know. I mean, as far as the controversy goes, the athletes shouldn't be made to suffer because the International Olympic Committee keeps picking shitty places to have their Olympics.
Yeah, like what the frick?
First it was Sochi, or whatever, and then it's like, now what? Pick another spot, It'll avoid a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, yeah, it's really kind of has brought awareness to the increasingly globalization, but also like the polarization that's coming from it. At least right now. I mean, hopefully it's not always like that, but the world is a very divided place in many regards, and yeah, that this Olympics thing, that it's international. Yeah, we're really seeing just how the geopolitical landscape is really just it controls so much.
Truly.
Yeah, which I mean, yeah, that's rough. But yeah, it's just interesting because it was reminding me that I mean, especially U.S. as a country, we have our positions that are beneficial to us, and that involves taking sides and this and that, and our relationship with China is a very long one, and there's a lot of
complicated,
a lot of complications there, and
a lot of nuances in the
but also seemingly core differences, but maybe that's just what the voices out there want us to kind of think,
the narrative.
So
there are a lot of big differences, but we have a lot in common too.
I was just thinking because something that brought up, and it was in relation to sort of coverage of the U.S.'s coverage of the Olympics, is that I saw a post on Twitter pretty much making an argument for like that their perception of the Uyghur concentration camps and the refugees and the crisis that's happening that we know of here to be happening down there, that that pretty much are saying it's not really happening, but it's just a narrative created by like a U.S. a CIA pretty much.
No, the persecution of the Uyghurs is real and
it is
downplayed.
It is and so this is the thing, they're saying that and saying, well, look, the sources of all these like of the information regarding it was coming from one person, and the last name was like Zenz or something like that, and that they're the source of a lot of these different new bits that are then going out into the internet. And okay, well then why isn't anyone else saying it? Then they were bringing up, well, why is the population of Uyghurs increasing in China? Based on I guess CCP census numbers, whatever their version of that is, and so for me it's just like, man, it's
then you have to take for granted that those numbers are accurate, and there's a very, very important place for us to play in this discussion, but as far as like the international players, what are the athletes going to do and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like, what's the problem is that they're thrusting this whole political conversation as being like thrust, and nobody's actually getting into the details of what's going on.
Or that if you support the Olympics, then you're supporting, the treatment of Uyghurs, as we understand it.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you see like the diplomatic boycott, but we're still sending athletes. And okay, well.
And I just want to bring that point to say that it's just, I mean, I had never thought of this position until like when I came across it last night, 2 nights ago, whenever it was, and it's just like, that is a trip. And like for me personally, as someone who I haven't been there, but to see this.
No, they hide that. Stuff. But also, I've been there. They it's very well hidden.
But see, so this person, whatever their intention, or maybe they were just speaking from their own experience, which ultimately it's anecdotal, no matter how aware and informed and what it is, right? But they're saying actually, in the U.S. has a history of doing this, even with the challenges, or like when they were saying the Tibetans were being experiencing genocide right through China, I think, as well. And I've been to Tibet, and that there's that the culture is very much well alive, and it's a language that does get a lot of recognition in China. And it's like, so what gives? I thought that it was that those people experienced this cultural and legislative and life, I don't know what the word, but like a life related genocide, and.
Right.
So, so I mean, and again, yes, and anecdotal, but it's like someone who, for me, I haven't been there. I don't know the next chance I'll get to go out there. I mean, what do I trust, and I guess it's important to have consistent metrics. And like what you said, well, if you're going to be skeptical of one resource, can we hold that same scrutiny towards the other, and where does that leave us?
Right.
Yeah, hard to do, but it's crazy. Like this thing about the Olympic, it's making me think of it all, and all the news and how it's connected.
Right.
What we do know is China's pretty powerful, and they can control a lot of narratives.
Yeah, and power does that. So I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, and speaking of power, right? Super Bowl coming up.
Yeah,
that always very powerful
Super Bowl.
A very powerful event for the U.S. for sure.
Here we go.
Not anywhere else, right?
No, they don't. Nobody else likes football besides maybe Canada.
American football.
Right.
Yeah. That's a trip. But yeah. The hometown boys. We'll see. SoFi getting hit up, and I've been hearing for many a day now, like LA Metro, this and that, or whoever's in charge of like transportation infrastructure here in LA. Like, how are we gonna manage it? Shuttles, this and that, yada yada.
It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess. Yeah.
That reminds me of when they wanted to put the stadium over by Dodger Stadium. Do you remember
Oh
that?
my
Yeah,
god!
Like they thought about doing that, and it was like, wow. Talk about a traffic clusterfuck. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, what
you
did
wouldn't
they-
get anywhere on
what?
game day.
Like, you know where else they wanted to put it? City of Industry. Like,
Mhm.
why would they put it there? Like,
It's
more
crowded
room.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's crowded there, man. I mean, there's a lot of people that live and work out there. Honestly.
Yeah.
have you guys been to SoFi yet?
Not yet.
Not inside it. I've seen around it a lot because I used to do some work out there when I was doing the electrical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really beautiful though from the outside. It just looks like a bunch
Yeah,
of
it's nice
huge.
inside. I've been
a
inside.
bunch of I don't know metallic waves or something.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man, but speaking of those SoFi and football and all that, what else is happening out there, right?
at the
With,
the Super Bowl experience.
no, with NFL in general, right? There's
There's some cool
Oh
halftime
yeah.
shows.
Oh,
some cool halftime shows. All right, who's doing the halftime?
Eminem.
Eminem. Woo!
No, it's like Eminem and Dr.
Dr.
Dre,
Dre,
and Snoop Dogg, and
Kendrick Lamar.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's gonna be fatty.
Lamar. That's gonna be cool.
Wow,
Heck yeah.
wow. That sounds dope. And actually, the thing I was thinking was something
was
on the
Brian
on
Flores.
the not as fun. Yeah.
You're thinking of Brian
Yeah.
Flores.
But hey, again,
It's good to throw that in there.
Yeah, we like the good news first.
Right.
Again, good news first.
I'm-
Before you
what's
take
the
your
bad
downer
news?
pills here.
I don't know like his like what he's suing the NFL for.
Well,
but
he's
it's like-
alleging systematic racism. I
Okay.
think is what the
Okay.
suit is.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know how they could like disprove that.
Right. Well, apparently there's some text between people, and it's bad news. I mean, the whole Rooney Rule thing was made to try and be kind of an affirmative action type program within the coaching network, and there wasn't any teeth in it, so there's no way for them to actually diversify. You know, there's how many white coaches in the NFL, and
Pretty much all of them.
right. So, that's the point of the lawsuit.
I mean, and you see that a lot where like a different, perceptual, maybe administrative on the administrative hierarchy or whatever, that the higher you go, the less diversity there is. I mean, you hear it in different industries,
Mhm.
even the art industry, right? How many directors are POCs, and
Right.
and things like that. So it's I mean,
The
seems
players,
within that. The players, right? I mean, look at the player demographic.
Yeah.
yep,
Man,
more than 3/4 African American in the NFL.
It's only 60-40 actually.
60-40?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
And that's the NBA. The NBA is more than 3/4. It's
Wow.
like 75% African American.
Yeah. Or black, I think, because I mean, not just beyond even just.
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah.
even just non-Americans,
Mhm,
but
yeah.
I'm sure it's mainly Americans. Anyway, I mean,
Yeah, it is.
I was just thinking about it. Yeah.
Well, Joel Embiid's not from America,
okay,
so
cool.
you're right
So
about
okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I get to remember that. Like
Yeah.
like the difference between the language and stuff.
But I was gonna say this example. This Asian coach who played for the Chargers, interviewed for a head coaching job, the one that Urban Meyer got, the Jaguars, and they told him like if you were black, we would hire you. They basically told him that.
Amazing.
So it's like they're just like, you're the wrong minority. Like that's what they said
Wow.
to him.
Weird.
So it's like how could they disprove that they don't take race into account when they hire people?
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing: is that like these types of policies and legislature, I really do believe it's trying to bring awareness to these discrepancies, right? And yeah, it's hard to quantify it. It's hard to quantify it and to really establish something that can like address all the wide spectrum of scenarios that could exist with it, right? But I mean, it's so because even in like the Supreme Court, right, that Biden was getting slack for hey, I'm looking for a black woman or African American. I don't know what he said, but I'm looking,
Right.
and people are like, well, what that means you're gonna get someone not as qualified, and it's like, but I mean, I believe the point is that What I mean, is your concern that there aren't any qualified? You know,
There definitely are.
There are, and I mean,
Plenty.
and then, but yes, I mean, yeah, perhaps it's gonna take, you know, like seeking out for it more and creating, you know, be more proactive with that. And but does that mean if they're not qualified, you won't give it to them, or you'll still give it to them? I mean,
Not at all.
I would hope that that's not what it means. That for me is not the intention. That's also a misappropriation of that. You know, that legislature, I guess, or a misinterpreted sort of inaction of the law and the policy.
Yeah, critics and people on the right will say that it's affirmative action gone too far, but basically, what we've had for the whole history of this country is equivalent to affirmative action for white people.
Right.
I mean, it's just like I mean, it's only an issue if you think there aren't qualified people of all different ethnic background and cultural backgrounds. I mean, which I don't personally believe that. So that's why that's not an issue for me. And giving an equitable chance to people who come from demographics that are normally not considered as quickly or easily, mainly easily.
Right.
Then they get a chance. I mean, at the end, and then I still trust that, you know, following the letter and spirit of the policies and the law, yeah, it'll still be the best person wins. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now we're seeing it here. So yeah, it's a thing, you know. I think last week we were talking about like growing pains. You know, we have new awareness of all these different realities in our society, and there's a lot of challenges that come with it. And for me, this is like a reflection of the navigation that we get to continue doing and talking about. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
the struggle continues.
Even thinking about, you know, something I read recently that there's a issue regarding 16 UPenn swimmers, pretty much.
Wait, so 16 like the team, the whole team?
Players within the team, I believe, of the women's swim team that they were
at University of Penn.
University of Penn, pretty much trying to. Now, the way the article was worded, I started like I don't know what the implications are, but 16 UPenn swimmers ask school not to challenge transgender policy that could block teammate Leah Thomas from competing. So maybe other schools are trying to
say she can't compete.
She can't compete. Leah Thomas, she cannot compete because she's a transgender woman.
Yeah,
and I mean, and it seems like they're citing that there's a physical advantage to her being on the team, and I mean it's just another scenario that's like, man, this is new stuff. I mean, that we're really navigating, and because, you know, I am all for people identifying with who they believe they are. You know, if it's
or who they are,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you, who they are, and if it's true to them, and that's what's going to allow them to have the most fulfilling, you know, life, most authentic life. Yeah, go for it. You know, so that's important. And also, I think that another thing that I'm learning about, because I don't, as a cisgender male, man, I mean, this is not the realm that I'm that knowledgeable in, but that there are, you know, unique biological I guess realities that exist in trying to, you know, like in acknowledging, you know, where is a transgender individual, you know, I guess competing in their true gender, right, in their true identity.
Yeah,
is that unfair?
Yeah, I think the binaryism of male or female is something like our whole culture and society has really adopted, and it's basically, you know, it's going to bite us in the ass because it's things people aren't so easily labeled into like certain definitions. And I think humans have a need to like classify people. And and that being said, it's also important that we enjoy things.
Yeah.
Right.
And let people enjoy. Right. Again, you know, I mean, the only way we can enjoy things is being true to ourselves, and if that being true to yourself is not hurting yourself or other people, I mean, you know, let live and right. Live and let live.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, if as long as it's not hurting anyone, like when it crosses the line of like violence and stuff, that's where I have a differing opinion.
Yeah. But someone, you know, going through the process of transitioning, right? I mean, that's not hurting anyone.
Yeah,
I mean, so. Yeah.
Well, it all begs the question as to why should we have any division like that in sports at all? Why don't we just have everybody compete?
Well, that's what I'm saying is if you can't compete, then you can't, right?
If you can't compete, then you can't what?
Then you can't compete. Then you're not good enough. You're not good enough anyway.
Right. It was you can't, right.
Oh, if you can't, then you can't. I get. Okay.
If you can't compete, then you can't. Right.
Fair argument.
I mean, and but then also thinking about how there are very well recognized, right, biological and physical differences between, let's say, a male body makeup, right, and a female,
Well, I mean, and that's where you have to go. It's like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Just make sure that it's all like chromosomal, because we've been trying to weed that kind of stuff out in certain regards, and I don't know, like the whole argument I think would be solved if you just let people.
Something that, a perspective that I read of on when I was sort of learning about this story, I thought was interesting is that, and they were citing of, just from a biological perspective, that having in this case, Leah Thomas competing in the women's swimming, competition is of advantage to her and a disadvantage to cisgender women who are in the league competing. And that to consider that, women's sports in general are a very sort of marginalized thing, right? I mean, women athletes are not making nearly anywhere as close to the amount of salary wages, right, as their male counterparts.
Right,
and
viewership
is totally different between male, female sporting. And I mean, so it's just,
but here's like,
so they're saying eventually transgender women or that are here to compete and serious about competing, because you can't just be transgender and think you're going to win, right? But that if you're really, dedicated to the craft and you experienced, like, in this case, at birth being assigned a male gender and you go through puberty as a male, and then what does that afford you in terms of physical
strength and stuff? But what I'm saying is,
and that's a perspective. I'm not saying I agree with that. It's just this is new for me to think about. It's new for me to think about.
People don't. I mean, people who are trans, I don't know, but I don't think they would do it for a sport just to be.
Big time. Just like,
what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and just like it pisses me off when they're like, a person's gonna go through the transitioning process just to pee in the other bathroom. Like, I mean, that's so crap, stupid. Yeah. I mean, what does that say about you and where your mind is? But then also it's like, I mean, if I, as a cisgender male, if I start looking at guys' peepees in the male bathrooms, I'm gonna get in trouble too. I'm like, you're gonna get in trouble regardless of that.
Lucker.
But I'm. It's just like, it's so stupid. Like, how is like, they're gonna get away with it though if they're it's just stupid. Anyways, that's I don't even want to give that. I don't want to give it light or value. Like, such a stupid gutter mentality. Ugly and but anyway, but. This story has, I mean, for me, again, cisgender male, man, I've never thought about these things, and, wow.
Well, yeah, I don't really think about them, like, either, like, but, like, they happen, and they need our help.
Yeah, exactly. And having conversations where we're trying to increase our awareness and even just with around our immediate, loved ones and stuff. And
so it may not affect everybody personally, but it's important to have solidarity.
Right.
Solidarity,
Empathy. That's another thing. It's one thing to have sympathy, but that's also what's sort of missed when we talk about inclusivity, is the importance of not only people seeing themselves in works and stuff like that and in the public, but also being able to identify with somebody's struggle, even if you don't identify with them and the way they look or how they are. To be able to have empathy for other people is really important.
An injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, are we going to have any sympathy for Garcetti?
I guess, because I have sympathy for Gavin, because he did it too. So
Gavin did what like everybody was doing,
and
I mean,
too,
I guess like
he's not a public official,
but
SoFi is outside. It's like an indoor outside stadium. It's not
this is where we're starting to get a little bit too asinine about things, and we have to be, we got to be, I don't think it's smart for him to be pictured and say something like, hey, it's all right, I held my breath.
Held my breath. So there's no way.
Yeah, the COVID equivalent of I didn't inhale.
Yeah, and I didn't like it.
Yeah. Like, wait, why didn't you like it?
Gosh. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So,
Magic got away though because he ain't a political figure. So good on him.
And he's the one at risk. So
right.
Yeah,
that's a great point. I mean. Yeah, it reminds me of when Justin Turner did it when the Dodgers won in 2020, and the coach, right? He is
was at risk.
Is an at-risk individual, and yeah, so yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal. They took their masks off for just a picture, but I see why people are outraged because people are getting
there is hypocrisy in it.
Yeah, like regular working class people are basically being forced at some times to wear a mask when people like Garcetti or powerful people don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what would be a reasonable and meaningful sort of consequence for someone who's the boss of so many, so to speak.
Recall? No, let's not do that.
That actually hurts us because of all the taxpayer money that goes into that shit.
Gotta love it.
Let's say all those people that wanted to try to get Gavin out. I'm like, dude, you guys are idiots. One, you're just like you've been living.
Larry Elder.
You've been having the fucking megaphone turned around. It's like one of those ones where you're blowing in it and it guts the loop back right here.
Yeah.
Just blowing in that shit way too hard because they were convinced that they were gonna win. I was like, dude, did you forget where you're from?
No fucking contest.
Yeah, and honestly, like, yes, he's imperfect, and I have my fair share of criticisms toward him. I voiced him here on the podcast. But I appreciate the willingness on the past cast, this past podcast. But yeah, his he does admit where he's wrong, and he does. I appreciate his communication and his approach. His at the very least the attempts. I mean, I want him to happen more, of course.
Yeah,
right.
And that's a challenge that everyone deals with.
Right. So LA is going to be getting $53 million as an investment for youth programs, and that's coming from Gavin's California Comeback Plan. It's part of like an $185 million statewide program.
Nice.
It's reaching low-income adults, those transitioning out of foster care, the formerly incarcerated, those in mental and substance abuse systems to get jobs coming out of the crisis.
Which there are many people that are a part of these programs.
Yeah.
Does that have it? I mean, well, it's nice, and this is Uncle Gavin scoring it for us.
Uncle Gavin, yeah.
Well,
it's part of the budget.
It was nice to get that, especially when California also saw the loss of the universal health care bill not even being passed, right? It didn't cross the House because one of the reps like really spearheading it. They were like, we don't got the votes, and they
and it passed the deadline, so that was the deadline.
Yeah, so that's too bad. I mean, I guess I don't know. We like paying for expensive shit that doesn't have to be so.
Right. Well, and I mean, that's what they have to bargain with is that there are a lot of people who have their healthcare and like it, despite the narrative. A lot of people there's like 135 million people, I think, in the country that have employer-based healthcare or something like that. It's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, I mean, so then it's like
almost half the population of the country.
So it means that the challenge is having something that then not only adds people to the list of being insured. Meaningfully insured, but also without salvaging or sacrificing, I guess, too much. I mean, there has to be some sacrifice, right? But without totally overhauling the stuff that works for people who have it right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they can coexist. Which is. It shows you how fucked up it is.
Well, that was kind of the whole point of Obamacare was, okay, well, we'll keep some of these things intact, but then we'll also offer, states the assistance to create new plans. And, that's kind of what you have to do is work within the framework.
I've covered California. Mm-hmm. It's very, economical for someone. Mm-hmm. Unless you're, if you have a good job, it's pretty expensive. Mm-hmm. But if you have, a regular job.
You have a good job, Kramer. You have a good job, Kramer. Come on.
Shut up.
So there's new awards for housing, too, going down. It's 2,300 new units, 500 for homeless. It's like a $923 million plan.
Yeah.
That was also part of...
So for housing and jobs?
Yeah, housing and jobs,
geez.
Hopefully it I'm really excited to see how it gets utilized. So that's a big issue in California for sure. LA, we see a lot of it, and I mean, not only for the big ones like Skid Row, but just pockets throughout, right? I mean, So. And
the NIMBYism is real, so
NIMBYism is so real. I mean, heck, and at the end of the day, isn't that I guess what personal biases are, right? Is like there's a NIMBY in all of us, right?
A little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm
not saying, I'm not saying I understand where they're coming from, but it's important to see that we also do enough introspection ourselves.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But in terms of introspection, I mean, man, how much more reflecting do we have to do to see that there is some issues with the way, LEOs handle certain, situations, within their range of their profession and their line of duty, right?
Right.
With Amir Locke, I'm thinking of, right? I mean, I don't know what's the excuse. It's just so wild, I mean, just recently, it was a couple weeks since it happened, but they released the body cam footage, and it just looks very damning, and man, it's just really unfortunate.
Looks like a bunch of trigger-happy cops executing someone.
And it happened in Minneapolis again. It's just, oh boy, dear Lord, we like, something has to happen. I mean, I'm tired of the equivalent of thoughts and prayers of like, we'll do an internal investigation and yada yada, and the guy's going on administrative leave, and it's just, man, yeah, it's tough.
Got to go through the judicial system and have them. Just got to pull them out, yank them.
Well, it's tough when you have judges signing these no-knock warrants, right? And getting to show Judge Cahill, Cahill.
Yeah,
Cahill.
He's a Cahill, man. Jerk ass. Just puts it lightly, but that the no-knock warrant was for not even for Amir Locke's name, not even his address, if I'm even not mistaken. It was just such a grossly negligent event. And even if they went to the right place, I mean, I'd hope that they have a system that's not like, let's shoot first and ask questions later kind of thing. So yeah, really sad. But we got to talk about it.
Yeah, it's just one of many shootings, but this was caught on video camera, on police body camera, and it's being shown on the news. But there's a lot of other similar stories that we definitely need more accountability and training for police.
Yeah, I mean, that it only is like 6 months, right, to have the training. I mean, I'd like for them to be as trained as a lawyer who I mean, and sure, they're learning a specific realm of the law, but I mean, same for an officer, I'm sure they would learn the parts of the law that are relevant to them, and just have more training in general, whether that means more field.
A lot of that does come with the job,
activity.
Because they do have to know code, but like, it's still like, not code, like, but like, they have to know the code. But yeah, they have the oversight is just what is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
The retribution has to be swift, and people are done with this shit.
Yeah.
Because it gives law enforcement a bad name.
Yeah. If you keep moving bad apples to a different department, it's just going to keep spreading, ruining the whole bunch.
Spoiling the well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiling the well. Yeah, definitely. So, oh man. And it just reminds me, didn't Obama try to push something? We were trying to get body cams like in all, for all LEOs, like all throughout the country.
Oh yeah.
Weren't they against that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's so weird, and I mean, but I mean, at the end of the day, having that also protects the officers too. I mean, it's
transparency.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's unfortunate, but we'll see what becomes of it. I mean, these things often take such a long time to find any sort of like closure of any sort. I mean, we lost a family member, a family member of the world, you know what I mean? And that didn't have to go. So, I mean, we'll never get that back, but it'll be nice to see something happen that if it were to be different than what it's been lately.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. In terms of another thing, things that are hopefully getting done differently finally now is what the legalization of marijuana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legalization.
Yeah. And good old crying Chuck Schumer's trying to spearhead that jerk.
Shut up, Chuck.
Well, because like the Republicans are already trying to do it. It's like, why were the Republicans the ones getting the leg up on this shit? It should be the liberals and the Democrats who are out there going, yeah, we should legalize this. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Wait for the midterms, for fuck's sake. Hello.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. There's like, and I don't want to say this is low-hanging fruit because it's a real big issue, but it's low-hanging in that there's a lot of support for it.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of even, I hate thinking like this, but it's there. A lot of fiscal benefits to legalizing it.
Without a doubt.
And regulating it. I mean, it's just like it would make pretty much everyone happy except for, I don't know, straight edge people.
Yeah.
Nancy Reagan.
That's right. Yeah. yeah. That's all right.
There you go again.
She could sacrifice for us. But yeah, what's the I don't know what's new about this bill. I haven't looked at the fine print much at all.
He's just talking about it. Like, I mean, it's ruminations, basically. I mean, there was already, I think, an attempt by one of the Republicans to get something started in the Congress, and it's like, well, hello, you know.
Yeah. Be nice. I mean, I guess who do you think? Do you have any bets on who might be proposing a bill first?
No, probably Schumer. I mean, if he's talking about it.
Yeah, he want to get the credit for it.
Well, no. Well, I mean, I guess it would probably be Pelosi because he's got to start in the House, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That'd be nice, yeah.
Because it has to do with finances and stuff, I think.
That would be nice.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, as being in a state that has a much better relationship with it than other states. Yeah. I mean, I guess everyone's sitting pretty here, so. Yeah, but it'd be nice to see, and then and hopefully maybe decriminalize, and if they could get people who are in there for nonviolent offenses, getting them out of there. I mean, yeah,
yep, some restorative justice is really needed.
Justice, yeah, big time, yeah. Age old dilemma. So, and speaking of, well, this isn't an age old dilemma, but it reflects a relationship that is an age old and troubled relationship, right, between Native Americans and U.S. government, pretty much, right, or big entities, right, within the U.S., right?
Yeah. So Native American tribes reached a $590 million settlement with J&J and a couple of their distributors because of the opioid epidemic, and Native Americans make up like just over 1% of the population, and they had the highest per capita rate of opioid overdose.
Man, that's everybody, a tragedy, and huge tragedy.
Yeah. So they're using this money to fund rehabilitation programs and other stuff like that, but it's a very serious problem. It's the driving cause of fatal overdose is opioids. Yeah. And everybody seems to have forgotten about that,
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny when you hear of like opioid pandemics or epidemics, whatever, like you hear about how it affects pretty much not Native Americans, non-Native Americans. I don't want to say non-native, just people who aren't Native Americans. Like you hear about it in like the Midwest or like Southern, or places where let's say like weed's illegal, right? And so
red-ish areas.
Yeah, reddish. But I mean, it impacts. Clearly, it impacts Native Americans the most. So
right,
and yet it's not something you hear too often. I mean, it's good that there are, again, restorative justice. Reparations of some sorts, I suppose, but yeah, I mean, just a drop in the bucket, but better late than never. I mean, hopefully it leads to more and more sort of acknowledgement of the issue and where people lie within the matter.
Right.
For sure.
Especially for Native Americans, a lot of the plight has been, their messages, their perspectives have been silenced, and basically Native Americans have been wiped out.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like a continuation of that. So it's good to see some accountability.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, just learning about it, trying to talk about it, and give it some spotlight. What doesn't need spotlight, but I guess it should right now is taxes, right? No one wants to talk about taxes, but
it's tax season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming up, so I know. Yeah, we gotta do the adultly thing and adult those taxes, or tax those adults.
Insert TurboTax ad here.
Yeah. Which they're getting clever. I wonder if they'll have one for different organizations, political organizations, and their other, because maybe the BLM crew would be able to, utilize their services, or.
Right. Yeah, they could use TurboTax, guys. You got to file. Come on. There's a couple state AGs that are calling them delinquent on financial disclosures, and now they've shut down online fundraising in California and Washington. Wow. They're risking their tax exempt status, so just got to be a little bit more transparent with
working
the finances,
within the system,
guys.
As imperfect as it is what it is. So got to do that.
It's interesting to know BLM started as a grassroots movement, but has gotten a lot of big donors. So it's possible like their messaging might even be compromised because of, loyalty to their donors.
Yeah. That's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, hopefully they get on that. I mean, it sucks to hear, I mean, it's like when we heard of all the different congressional staffers and the Congress men and women that were, violating the stocks, right? Or what was it called? I think the
Stock Act.
Yeah, the Stock Act and whatnot. It's just, I mean, these you believe that these people and organizations are acting in good faith, and so it'd be nice to see them just following the same stuff that people have to go through. Which I mean, not even, again, if they're taxes, then it looks different than how I do my taxes, but they still do them.
Seems fair to me.
Yeah. And I know we had talked about it earlier, but just thinking about all these big positions in our government, right, and the SCOTUS, right, and how it sort of had ties to what we're learning about with like trying to find proper representation, right? But you know what? It was nice to see Pence's nuts get some representation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't even know he had a pair.
Yeah, good job. I'm sure he's very pleased. Like, yes, my nuts are there.
So for those who didn't see it, Mike Pence came out and spoke and said that Trump was wrong to say that he could overturn the election, guys. Like he knew it all along,
He knew it all along.
He knew it all along.
Yeah.
Even though he had to call Dan Quayle's dumbass to get advice and still didn't take it, he still dilly-dallied on it. Like, dude, come on,
Yeah. I wonder what he was doing in that time. Was he just sitting and probably just staring at a wall? I could imagine him, like his personality, he wouldn't have done anything. He would have just very, very, very
looking at his shadow on the ground.
Yeah.
While the crowd outside chants to hang him.
He's like,
exactly.
That might have been the tipping point for Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Sad.
Hey, but he's still here, so I guess I don't know. He's found a way. Yep. And still here right now, but I mean, man, getting real beat up right now is Joe Rogan himself, right?
Oh my God.
Quite a few episodes, what, 70-ish or something? Or
I don't know if that
even more.
I don't know if that episode, I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's what that post said.
Yeah.
70 episodes were removed. Spotify took them down. And I can see why. Spotify was already having a tough time anyway, and the $2 billion market, value share of loss, like that's
big.
Big.
Money talks.
So money talks, and of course now they're going to be out there about it. But just funny because he kind of was in the middle of responding to the whole COVID thing, and he was kind of like taking this, oh well, maybe I should have more alternate viewpoints on, and maybe there should be. He was totally agreeing with this stuff, and it's like, dude, that, like you've known that this whole time. Come on, don't tell me.
That's kind of how you started.
Guy.
That's kind of how you started, and.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just started pretty
much.
He
went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell, but dude, that's what you do. You have alternate viewpoints, and maybe don't have so many batshit people on without at least challenging the narrative a little bit.
What I think it is once you start getting big, you just the bigger you get, the more yeses you hear, and it just is like a self-perpetuating cycle of like the bigger you get, the more disconnected you are from, probably whatever you did to begin with, right? And so now you're doing something different than what you started with.
Yeah.
And usually that means like, I don't know, just being a weirdo, asshole, jerk, misinformative, single narrative minded, kind of dude.
Mm-hmm. Now the Twitter sphere is all alight now, so everybody's going after him, and The Rock came out and he voiced like non-support for him, and then Donald Trump Jr.
is now against The Rock. So who's going to go against Trump Jr.? Will it be you? Will it be us?
Right. Will it be us? Maybe. Hell yeah, I'd love to go against Donald Trump Jr. Fuck that guy. Is he really going to pretend like he gives a shit about trans people and any of those issues?
Yeah.
Right.
He's just
that's what he was digging
this
on The Rock for, right? That he had very old posts, right? That were
making fun of trans people, and here's the whole point though, is like everybody's experiencing the cancel culture moment, and hey, let's just sit back and watch it.
Even books.
Yeah. I'm not going to be lectured by the people who want to burn books
and certain curricula.
Yeah, about cancel culture.
So maybe what cancel culture is actually what people refer to as cancel culture. It's actually like trying to fight the real culture that's being canceled.
That's what we should call it. Cultural adjustment. not cancel culture. It's just an adjustment of
bringing in multicultural perspectives and not just looking at the cultures that have been canceled throughout history.
Yeah. Kind of just maintaining the status quo for the culture of power, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But also, just because you're trying to bring awareness to the culture of power doesn't mean that you're doing it in a way that's like totally grounded, right? And in good faith as well. But it's just like, but we got to be consistent, like to all different cultures and have a base level of like a willingness to sort of hear out and respect and understand, and then have a discussion afterwards, but not before that, not before the understanding and the empathy takes place. And sure, certain perspectives and stuff are easier to say like, no, that's wrong because it hurts someone or hurts you or someone. But yeah, with a lot of other things, it's a lot more nuanced. But yeah, no.
I tell you, what should have been canceled was Jeff Bezos' fucking super yacht.
Yeah, man.
Did you find another place to build the thing, maybe?
But though it would be nice to, if there's a way where they can make the adjustments to that bridge, have Bezos' yacht roll through, and then have everyone toss eggs at it like they say they will. Like, thousands of residents have said they'll like egg the hell out of it if it does it. And then he gets to experience that, and then somehow they can revert the bridge back to what it originally was.
Right. Well, that's $450 million they could have used to like redo the bridge, because I think like that bridge itself is like an unused bridge now.
Yeah, it is.
So, there's kind of everybody's going, oh my God, it's went in totally this other direction. It's like, okay, well, they didn't even say that they agreed to dismantle it yet, but they're like saying, oh, we will.
We heard the request pretty much.
Right. So
everything has a price.
Right. So that's the latest in the news of Amazon. What about
I just thought it was funny that, I love Neil Young, but like how he denounced Spotify, and then he goes to Amazon, the fucking devil.
Yeah,
they're basically devil.
Yeah, the Darth Sidious of the corporate world.
Darth Sidious of the corporate world.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Oh,
that's a brilliant observation, Paul.
Yeah. Well, what else is there to observe? The Facebook meta game?
Are they doing stuff with Russia again or something? Is that what it has to do with? I don't know.
No.
Misinformation
sells. They threatened to pull Facebook and Instagram from the European market.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'm moving to fucking Europe. Like, seriously, is that a threat? Like, can we get some of that here? Like, pull out of our fucking market for a little while.
Yeah,
see how that affects stuff.
Man. You know what? Facebook usership, I guess, has gone down a lot in the past year.
There's not as many bots creating bots.
That's true, and I think just people in general. I think just people in general are just whatever transitioning to all the other social media. TikTok's like really big now. Yeah. Honestly, it's probably the biggest in the game right now.
Yeah,
for sure. That because right now I know that I also read something unrelated thing, but to Facebook/Meta that who's the evil dude, the main guy? I'm blanking on his name.
Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, fucker punk. Yeah. That is that he was talking to some to some of his people about like let's look at like TikTok as like our main like a competition within like the visual sphere, like video sphere, pretty much. Yeah, so no, totally makes sense.
Interesting. Well, I don't think the name change is doing them any favors. What the fuck is Meta?
And even like the idea
all that money and they couldn't find a better name than that.
And even like the idea of it, like it's straight up what like people like remember like a player.
It's
one?
hard. It's hard to think of names. It's hard.
But yes, names are hard. Yeah,
Washington football team. Come on.
They're the Commanders now.
They're the Commanders.
Yeah. No.
That was not a good name.
Remember bad names are always the hardest thing, right? Now, even like I barely got a bad name for my original.
But I agree, Meta's not a good name. But I'm just saying it's still hard.
Yeah. I forgot the original train of thought, but that their motto is also kind of like, it sounds very innovative, but there's not a lot of like kind of excitement about it because it seems like very like ripped straight up from like Ready Player One was that movie, right? Or the idea of like Surrogate was, I think, the other movie, right? Just living in a surrogate,
or the Matrix,
or the Matrix, right? In some sort of like augmented reality thing, right?
Yeah, it's like the Oculus Rift, isn't it? Like, isn't it?
Well, see, Facebook acquired the Oculus Rift company. I don't know the name, but Oculus some years ago, and they hadn't done anything with the acquisition, but now they're working like that's kind of one of their main points of development for this Meta thing is working with Oculus for it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess, or maybe it's just people just don't believe it just yet. But I mean, they're saying like, hey, you can interact or like for purchasing stuff, you can experience the item as if you were there without having to travel out to get it. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess that sounds kind of interesting, but do I really want to do that? I mean, I don't need it. You know? I mean, videos and YouTube are good enough for that. You know, if you really are unsure, then try the damn thing. You know,
right?
Is doing it augmented reality wise gonna really, you know, clear that itch for you?
Right. Well, I think the pandemic kind of accelerated a lot of that VR mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the the housing market. A lot of houses are being sold and shown virtually.
That's a good point. Yeah, you don't even need to show up anymore and deal with all the other people and stuff, right?
Holograms and Zoom meetings.
Yeah, but you know what isn't a hologram is the shit that's happening with Russia and Ukraine, right?
Oh my god,
it's too real.
Too real. It's nice to see that other countries are like starting to show up.
I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, we're still back in. It's like 3,000. We're sending 3,000 troops to the eastern flank.
Yeah.
Like what in the hell?
I mean, hopefully those 3,000 can hang with the 100K that Russia's got. I mean,
well, yeah, and then of course you have like some of the countries are stepping in, but you got Macron is talking about de-escalation and then even making ruminations about making concessions to Putin already, and it's like you know, I don't think France needs any help in the hey, you guys want to cut and run department.
Yeah,
you know. So don't do that, you know, stick around for the world's sake.
Fucking France, dude.
Yeah.
All of them. Germany did that too. They were talking about like, oh, maybe we're going to hang back. Like, really? Germany?
Yeah.
Come on, you owe us something.
No, I thought recently,
get in here.
A representative of Germany pretty much was telling the U.S. like, we are an ally you can count on or something. I was like, well, great. What are you going to do with this shit?
Yeah.
Right.
Better be.
Yeah. They're like doing like a song and dance. We are here for you.
Right.
All right. Well,
better yet, send the 4 of us dumbasses down there. We'll do something. Like, come on. Hey, get down it. Come on. Let's have a shot of Stoli and work this out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's wild. I mean, it's just a kettle or I guess was like a hot potato, right? Ready to, I don't know, turn into fries.
Turn into vodka.
Oh, is that you need hot potatoes to create vodka?
Just potatoes,
Just
I think.
Potatoes, yeah. I didn't know if you needed them hot or cold, but regardless, yeah, they're gonna burst into something that is gonna be intense to handle, right? So that's for sure. But man, you know what? I mean, all we can do is like be informed, and when we get the chance, voice our opinions via vote. Because how else can we really do it? I mean, going out and, you know, protesting, right? Or
bitching about it online on YouTube here, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, so
and Twitch and everywhere else.
Exactly.
Twitch bitching.
So quit watching us and get on your own podcasts. Damn it! No, just kidding. No, please keep on watching us. You can do it all. You can do it all. You
talk and do though. That's the point. Is actually you know doing something is imperative.
And again, you know, we thank you for giving us your time, and we always appreciate, you know, not only the views but of course the conversation. If any of you feel ever so inclined to share a perspective on anything we talked about or anything that you think would be of importance for us to sort of be mindful as we keep on navigating this current day and age, we're all ears.
Right. So let's remind them who we are.
Yeah.
Paul.
Been a while. George.
Joaquin.
Jesse.
And thank you again for joining us for the MF Podcast, episode 12. You have a great rest of your day, evening. Be safe out there, and we'll see you for number 13.
Peace.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. Nice, boys.